Ojalá que te guste este video y ojalá que te sea súper útil. Spanish native speakers use ojalá all the time, but it's a tricky little word because you have to use the Spanish subjuntivo with it. Before you throw your arms up in despair, we're going to make this easy for you by teaching you 14 chunks with ojalá, word combinations that always stay the same and that are used by natives exactly like that. This way, you won't even have to think about grammar when using these ojalá chunks. I'm Spring Spanish teacher Maura, and here is your first chunk with ojalá. Número 1. Origin and use. As a little side note, you might be interested to know that the origin of this word is actually Arabic. ¿No te encanta cómo las lenguas se han influenciado mutuamente durante toda la historia? Inshallah was the original word. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Lamentablemente, solo conozco algunas palabras en árabe. Its meaning was something along the lines of God willing. However, it's been used for so long that it holds no religious vibes anymore. I don't consider myself a religious person and I use ojalá all the time, like this. Ay, ojalá que sí puedas venir. Sí, o sea, ojalá que tengan el pasaje a buen precio y así puedas venir. The two verbs that follow it, puedas and tengan, are in the subjunctive mood. Honestly, it makes total sense that this is how it works. Mariana has a video about this where she fully explains this mood. Essentially, the subjunctive is precisely the mood in Spanish which talks about hypothetical situations, doubts, and wishes. It fits perfectly with ojalá, which is mainly used to express wishes. At the same time, it can imply doubt in the present and future. In the past, it refers to an entirely hypothetical situation since the reality already happened. Also, you can omit the que every time. So, I could have said, ay, ojalá si puedas venir. Sí, o sea, ojalá tengan el pasaje a buen precio y así puedas venir. Chunk alert! Ojalá que sí is a perfect chunk that you can start using right now. You can substitute basic things like espero que sí with this and sound like a true insider. Si sonar como un nativo te resulta atractivo, otra cosa que puedes hacer es consultar el enlace en la descripción. In there, you'll find out more about subscribing and becoming a member of our inner circle. As a member, you'll get a ton of benefits like access to speaking rooms and flashcards and audios for our lessons, just to name a few. Número 2. Ojalá, present. Depending on what tense of the subjunctive follows the word ojalá, the time of action of the wish will vary. Con ello, la probabilidad de que el deseo se haga realidad. In this section, we'll focus on the present, but keep in mind that the present is also used to refer to the future. Don't worry about tenses though. Just learn the following chunks knowing that they have a present or future meaning and that it's actually possible for the wish to come true. Ay, ojalá avise antes de llegar. Sí, ojalá estés lista también. Sí, ojalá salgamos a tiempo para el concierto. Y ojalá no empiecen a tocar antes. We don't usually use ojalá as repeatedly as in this roleplay, but it works to make my case with this lesson. Notice how the conjugation will tell you who they're talking about. Ojalá avise antes de llegar. This could be talking about a person, regardless of gender, or a thing. The context will let you know. Sí, ojalá estés lista también. Estés is a clear indication that you're talking directly at someone, meaning a tú. Ojalá salgamos a tiempo para el concierto. Anytime you see a más at the end of a verb, know for sure it talks about nosotros, nosotras. Y ojalá no empiecen a tocar antes. Similarly, anytime you see an N at the end of a verb, know it talks about ustedes or ellos, ellas. Watch until the end if you want to know my favorite songs that use ojalá a lot and that you can start listening to practice both pronunciation and the use of this word. Número 3. Ojalá, past. This time, we'll use a type of past after ojalá, and the meaning will remain in the present, but with little or no possibility of happening.
Ojalá nos ganáramos la lotería.
Ojalá fueses más realista.
Vale, puedo ser más realista. Ojalá yo viera dinero.
¡Ay, qué tonta! Ojalá te donara un cerebro.
So, as you can see, all of this is quite unlikely. Es casi como soñar despierta o tontear como lo hacemos aquí. Once more, you have all of the possible conjugations for this tense. Ojalá nos ganáramos la lotería, talking about us. Ojalá fueses más realista, talking about you. Vale, puedo ser más realista. Ojalá yo viera dinero, talking about an it. Qué tonta. Ojalá te donaran un cerebro, talking about they. Ooh, chunk alert. Ojalá fuese, without the S, talks about me. Fuese is the very weird conjugation of ser that you would have to use with ojalá. But if you learn ojalá fuese, you can hypothesize about being anything you're not, like a true native Spanish speaker. Back to the description, there's a link in there where you can find our free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit and learn many more crazy chunks like this one. Número 4. Ojalá, past perfect. This last tense necessarily needs the verb haber in Spanish. Piensa en ello como lo que hace que este tiempo sea el pasado del pasado. So much so that there's no possibility at all that the thing you're wishing for would happen. Actually, the reality is quite the opposite.
Ojalá hubiéramos conseguido entradas. Ojalá hubieras buscado antes. Ojalá yo hubiera organizado las cosas desde el principio y así esto no habría pasado. Bueno, sí. Ojalá te hubieran dejado cuadrarlo a ti.
All of these follow the same patterns as the previous examples, but do notice that ojalá yo hubiera organizado las cosas not only works for he, she, or it, but it also works for I, as I've used it here. I did clarify it by adding the word yo, but it's not like I had to do it. Songs with ojalá. Como lo prometido es deuda, here are those songs that use ojalá all over the place. Juan Luis Guerra, ojalá que llueva café. Silvio Rodríguez, ojalá. Maná, ojalá pudiera borrarte. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. I have to say, for me, ojalá que llueva café hits right in the center of my Latin American soul. Now, for a bit of practice, how about finishing this sentence with things you would want to be that are actually possible? Ojalá fuese. And this one with something quite impossible. Ojalá hubiese sido. I'd love to know the things you'd like to be. Let's now have an in-depth look at the Spanish subjuntivo. Spring Spanish teacher Mariana will show you some tricks to always remember when and how to use the subjunctive. With chunks, of course. Click the image on the screen to continue with this lesson.